Welcome to class summary to the making of this beautiful Ankara well-designed skirt. Please stay tuned to the end to get the best part of it. So I'm going to be telling us the measurements we need for this class. The length of the skirt is going to be 41 and the waist measurement is 40. Okay, 41 and 40. So what we're going to do is to divide 40, which is the waist circumference, into 4. This case I'm going to be dividing into 4. It's just very simple something. Okay, and this I have the fabric. I'm going to fold it into two on the length wise. I'm going to fold it into two to get the length that I want. So what I'm going to be doing is 40 divided by 4, and that is 10. So I'm going to be adding 10 to the length of the skirt, 41, and that will give me um 51, right? 51. So I'm going to fold this into two to get to 51, which I've already done. Remember that the length of this Ankara on this side, the width is not long. Okay, it's not long. So definitely we're going to be joining something after cutting, but we're still going to take normal measurements. Whatever is missing out, we're then going to add to it. I hope it's clear. And this other edge, and make a triangle. This is where the length stops and this is where this one stops. So definitely the two of them will not meet because of the length of this side, right? So after cutting, while cutting, I'm going to take the actual measurement. After cutting, I'll then add to whatever that is missing out. So I'm going to measure the 4 inches this way to get my waist divided by 4, and the waist is 40 divided by 4, and that will give me 10. So I'm going to keep this like this until I get to where 10 is. Now if you're going to be having zipper allowance and side allowance, you're going to add the measurement to this part, but in this case the 4 is equally going to be bigger. So if I'm going to be adding, it's just half an inch. I'm going to have a band of 1.5 inch. So you're going to be removing this 1.5 inch from the full length. So 51 minus 1.5, that should give us 49.5, right? So you might not be taking the full length again, except you want something extraordinary. Then the skirt is going to have side seams because we're going to be putting a pocket. We're going to be having side seam and also our zipper allowance. So instead of taking 10, you might reduce it to 11 so that it can accommodate all of this. And mind you that this 10 will not be exactly the measurement of the person. You might have a little allowance which will serve as a zipper allowance. Normally we're supposed to come up by half an inch from the 10, which is 9.5, so that it fits properly on the waist line. Even if it's going to be, it's better it's smaller than it is bigger, because if it is bigger, you're going to pleat it or you start cutting it from the zipper area. So I'm going to be taking 11 because I'll have side seam and zipper allowance. Now marking this here will not work because we're doing divide by 4. So if I mark 11 this way and on that part I make it like this, it will not be exactly the measurements that I want. So I'm going to place it this way until I get the 11 inches that I want to work with, right? So this is where it is. I'll now place my tape from here and measure whatever it is that I have. This is 14.1.5 rather, so I'll measure it right round this way. Placing it this way, and marking it exactly where it is, the 11 is, and cutting. It's going to work very well according to my experiment. I don't know about others. According to my experiment, it works very well when you're using the formula of 6.28 and 3.14 and all that. But here we're making use of 4 inches. Very simple and easy. Okay, I will not cut it now. I'll just go ahead and get the actual length that I want and then mark it from there. So I've cut it out from here, and this is what is remaining. Now looking at this, this is where this one stops. So we're going to be adding fabric to this part to complete it. So at this point, we're going to cut from here. Now I'm going to cut and add to this part before opening it so that I will not make a mistake. So I'll cut pieces from this one that is remaining and add to it. Okay, so here I have a piece which is folded into two. It's not a must that you cut it out like this, but I have this piece and I needed to join it in order to get to the length that I want. Okay, so I'm going to remember it's into two because what we have here is into two that is short. So I'm going to be placing it on top of this to cover this edge so that when I join it, this part is not going to be seen. So I'll place it on top of it and make sure it gets to the edge, they match together, and also to this part. Here has a little shortage because this part is not long, but the length of the skirt is quite longer than what is normal, so I might just trim a little. So when you're cutting pieces to join, make sure it even extends so that you can cut exactly what you have. So you can just use pin to hold it so that you turn it the other way around and see exactly where to cut, right? If you cut it this way, you might be making a mistake. So I'll pin it down, turn it, and see how to cut it. So after turning it, I now know where to cut from, and I'll trim it. So you can see that they're all rhymed together. And this is what we have. Okay, so I'll be separating these parts open so that I can join them separate to one, or even leave it like this because this part is not open until I decide to open it. So soulmates, okay, this is what we have after cutting out the skirt itself. I have an extended part which is going to serve as the zipper, and then the other part is where the measurement is going to begin. So I'm going to cut it open from this side. The other side will serve as the front and the back, right? I'm just going to cut it open from here. I'm demarcating the front and the back, separating them together. So this is the front and this is the back. Okay, so we're going to be working on the front alone for now because we're going to be adding our pockets of 7 inches, 7 or 8 inches, depending on how long you want it. Then 2 inches. This is the front side that we're working on. So rule, you can see the chalk line, we'll rule it down to where the pocket is going to stop. And this is a pocket bag, right? I've cut everything together. This is about 13 by 13 inches. And this is a small black strip that is by the side of the pocket, which I'm going to run bias on top. Okay, so this is just the process of doing this. So I'll just pin the small black strip down. Then for the pocket bag, if you have your Ankara all together, you don't need this black. You don't need to be patching something on the black. This is just so you don't get to see only the black. It will serve as the facing and the pocket at the same time. So I will just sew it on top of the black strip a little inside to hold it down, right? I'll just sew it there, the 2 inches that I marked out where the chalk is showing, that's where I'm going to be sewing. So this is just another method of fixing a pocket. You can decide to do whatever you choose. So once I sew it, I'm going to run this bias down by the side very close so that it will feel like they're together. Okay, I'm going to run it down. The bias is going to be 2 according to the design. So I'm going to get the other one too and place it on top. You can see. So I just sewed one side. I'm going to be cutting off the black excess so that I will sew the bias down. Okay, so we're to make the pocket the way it is or the way it's supposed to be. This is just another method of making a pocket. There are so many methods anyway. Okay, so make sure that what you marked out is where you're going to be stopping, including your sewing allowance, so that you don't run shortage. So I'll pin it down, iron it very well before joining it to the back. Whatever I do by this side, I'm going to do it on the other side, right? Whatever I do here, that is what I'm going to be doing on the other side. So you can see our pocket is formed, right? The pocket is well formed. So we're going to be proceeding to the other side and do the same thing. So at the back, the pocket is still open and we're going to close it this way so that the inside is not open. And once you're done with that, I ran the same stitch at the center front, nothing serious, just to give it a very beautiful look, right? Just to give it a very beautiful look. And then I'll place the back on it and stitch it down side by side. Once that is done, I'm going to fix the zipper for the skirt and then fix the band. I'm so sorry I didn't show this part, the band and the zipper. I totally forgot I was making a video. Okay, so this is what the band looks like. Very beautiful. This is just the design in the front, right? Everything is looking giving. Who is going to replicate this skirt? Of course, you can buy it from our store if you want to buy this beautiful skirt in different prints. We have it available for you just for 6,000 naira for small Ankara and 8,000 naira for big Ankara. Okay, so thank you for watching. Bye.